a lot of people started here, but everyone really had to leave. If they really wanted to make it, they had to leave, right? You had to go to New York or LA. Like Jay Pharrell, for example, he started here, but he had to go.
He had to go.
And then SNL, he got the break. He was ready. Boom, he had to go to New York. But then now he's going to get more acting gigs, more other things. Where you got to go? You got to go to LA. Like you have to be there because the opportunity. You got to get in the room. And if you don't get in the room, hey, we got a casting call or whatever tomorrow at 8 a.m. I can fly there, but do I really want to do that back and forth? You just got to be present.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
What's going on, everybody? DJ Julian Rivera here. Welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. We got my man Edgar, the Sphere Munez in the house. But more importantly, we have you guys and gals tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed, you're following, you're liking YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, the whole 9 yards. But you know, it's never just about this bald guy over here and myself. It's usually always about the guest because there's peaks and valleys in everybody's lives and everybody's industries. And I don't care how old you are, where you're from, it doesn't matter. And today's special guest, another good friend of mine. His name's Charles, but he goes by Gotham City's own Batman. Not that guy, not the superhero you're thinking about, but he has very, very comparable similarities, and you'll understand why. Batman, what up, my guy?
I like that. That was a very flattering intro. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, Bruce Wayne.
Man.
No doubt.
Just try to put on my cape whenever it's necessary, brother.
I mean, you can come save the day whenever, and usually you do, because that's really been your industry since you've been in it.
You can't call yourself a superhero and not try to live up to at least some of the ideals, right?
That's true. That's true.
It's a living.
So, Bat, we've known each other for
20 plus years.
At least 20 plus years, right?
Like that, yep.
Because we both started in a comparable, just in entertainment. Just entertainment in general, right? Because there's so many verticals in entertainment. I think we met probably Comedy Club era when I was there, but I think a little bit before that. And you were hitting the streets heavy. But let's go back in the day so the audience knows exactly, where Batman came from. I can talk about it, but let's hear from you.
I came from my mother and my father. No,
okay, but we're here all day. All right, perfect.
I'm here all night, everybody. I am from Hampton, Virginia.
Yep.
But, really even before that, right? Like military brat. So my parents actually met in the Philippines.
Really?
My dad was in the Marines.
Okay.
My mother was in the Navy. They met over there, got married, had me, moved to Cali, had my sister in Anaheim. Then we moved around the United States a little bit. And around 4 or 5, we get to Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
So that is I claim Virginia. I'm
VA.
Virginia, bro.
Yeah. And you've been here ever since?
And I've been here ever since, brother.
Okay.
So went to elementary school, went to Sims Middle, went to Kickerton High School, and then switched to Bethel High School, and that's where I graduated with 01. So
got you.
Yeah. Just always knew I wanted to do music. Wasn't really sure what the pathway was, so I read books and all of that, and then figured out all these books I'm reading. A lot of these executives, they start out doing street team work.
Yep.
So I'm like, if I can only find where the street team guys are, maybe the rest will kind of take off from there.
Hold on. So before anybody doesn't know what the street team is, because back in the day, before we had these, you used to actually have to go in the streets,
and actually
hand
interact
out
with
flyers, talk to people, leave a CD. I mean, tapes. There was actually mixed tapes. It wasn't just a word made up. It was a physical item.
That's right.
So this is how they had to market artists.
Yeah.
Back in really market anybody, but we're talking about entertainment world. That's how they used to have to market the artists.
I had to hand out flyers, posters. If they had a really big budget, we would get the stickers. We would get, I know for an artist, Verse Simmons, they had like the shot glass.
Yeah.
And they had the stir. He had a single called Buy You Around. So they had the napkin, the branded napkin, the shot glass with his face on it, with his name on it. And then they had the stir with his mini logo and all of that stuff on it. And sometimes you got to do little cool stuff like that if it was like an activation or something. So,
right.
But that's how we used to actually, break these records in conjunction with the DJs. But that's how we used to get the word out. Posters, flyers, and other promotional items, just moving around the city and delivering vinyl to DJs.
Yes.
So that was a big part of my job too, was making sure that I visit you guys. Yo, Julian, I'm outside. Can you, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Can you get me into the joint so I can, I used to pass word or whoever it was and get me into the spot and give you your sets of vinyl, rock out with you a little bit, make sure the record was getting played and go to the next spot. And I used to do that Friday, Saturday, sometimes Monday through Saturday, depending on how hard I was going, and made a really good name for myself and just moved around the city. That's how I, kind of came up with my reputation, I guess.
Right.
So,
I mean, you're hitting the streets, you're doing the work, and just in case if anyone under the age of 30 is watching, you don't know what vinyl is. It's a big black 12-inch record, sometimes 45.
Yeah.
And they would make it so music got played on that. And then DJs used to scratch on it. Believe it or not, it was before computers.
This whole interview is going to be about us dating ourselves.
But it's okay because I have a 17-year-old daughter and she only listens to our stuff. You know, and a lot of the kids nowadays I've learned, their old schools are stuff that was popping, not our old school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's still extremely relevant. I mean, I throw a 2000s party, bro, and everyone from 21 to 60 is in there vibing. Yeah. You know, I've seen this, and I'm like,
it seems like the 2000 stuff is sticking a little better.
Yeah,
as far as
go to every session. That's all he's playing.
That's all. Yeah.
Literally, like that's. I mean, I'll drop some. I might do like a acapella of a new joint over the 2000s beat or something, but even then, I'm like, it just doesn't hit still.
It don't hit the exact.
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah,
it just doesn't hit. But you were doing this organically. You developed your street team. How did the name Batman come during that time? Like, how did your alias come? Then, like, outside of being, hey Charles,
you're about to get all the stories. So
let's go.
When me and my best friend, shout out to Rashawn Jones, when we were little kids, you know, playing in the backyard as kids do. He was always like Superman, and I was always Batman.
Okay.
And so this is like the branding thing. I was like early 20s, so I don't even know how I got to this logic, but it was like, my real name is Charles, my middle name is Anthony, and people call me Tony or whatever that grew up with me. So I'm like, there was already a couple of Charleses in the city, and there were some Tonys. So I'm like, I don't want to get mixed up with anybody.
Yeah.
But if I call myself Batman, I felt like that would be something people wouldn't confuse me, at least with anybody in Virginia. And then eventually, you know, Dark Knight comes about, but that was like the whole branding thing.
Dark Knight Entertainment.
Yes.
That was it. That was it. So I figured people would laugh at first, but once I grew my reputation, they would stop laughing with the Batman and just say it with an air of respect. So then it was my job, if I was going to really be out here calling myself Batman, to make people respect that name. Right.
And so I was that intentional even back then.
I mean, success, because it sits. I call you Bat before I even call you fucking Charles. So
hey man,
that's just what it is.
I'm trying to do a thing here. So
I mean, trying and doing are two different things. And one thing you did was you did.
Yeah.
And you were consistent with it. And that's
never
one
gave
thing
up.
We talk about that, you know, in any industry, the consistency typically outworks talent, right?
1000%.
That all day. How many talented people we know that didn't make it?
That's true.
But most of the time they were consistent, aka it's funny how consistency, sometimes big breaks happen. And you've seen this coming from back in the day, having to distribute vinyl, CDs, maybe mixtapes, and then the evolution. Really, I call it like right when the 08 crash happened in real estate, the 07, 08, that's when the technological boom for DJ started at the same time. That's when Serato came out. That's when we can go from having vinyls to being able to actually not have to do that. We can have MP3s and actually scratch. Because before that was the CDJs. Yes. So then we went from that to CDJs, but we had to have the same book. It's the same thing, just smaller, put it in there. It really didn't hit that hard, but it was the new thing for a minute. And then once that Serato dropped, it changed the game.
I remember when we switched over from vinyl and the CDJs, right, to, we just sending out MP3s. There's no longer going to be physical promotion. That's when I knew, like, they're about to get us out of here. Like,
right.
I remember that it was like maybe 3 months. They were like, we're about to start transitioning out of posters. We're about to start transitioning out of like physical, CDs or whatever. We about to just send the MP3s. And some people on the call was like, that's dope. That's cool. In the back of my head, I was like, yep, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
And so that might have actually correlated with the time where I was like, I need to start transitioning into being a marketing person and not just a street team person.
There you go.
Thank God I had that thought, because very shortly after that, maybe a few months before I left and a few other people were let go from Def Jam, they asked us for, you get all exclusive. They asked all the reps, this is a national team.
Yep.
They asked everybody for their Bible. For those who are not indoctrinated into that lingo, your Bible is like everybody who is important and all the places that are important in your market. Mm-hmm. When the label is asking me or whoever from the national team, all right, everybody, we need you to email over your market's Bible or whatever. Is they asking for all our contacts?
Yeah.
If you got all the contacts, then what do you need me for?
Right.
That's how I knew it was about to happen. I'm like, so I'm one of them. I'm not gonna say I was the only person, but I definitely was like on the call in front of everybody. I don't know if I necessarily feel comfortable giving y'all my Bible and like, what does this mean? Like, and it was like, nah, everybody have to do it. Like, that's part of da-da-da-da. But I was like, yo, like, I did, I felt my conscience was clear because I said something. But I knew where this was going. I just wanted to be on record that I was pushing back against.
So just to be clear on this one, since it's been a minute since it happened, and I'm sure we can speak freely on this.
Yeah, this is...
Everybody had to give the Bible.
Yes.
Or did they have to, or they just made them feel they had to?
No. It was like you had to. And it was tied into like you getting your next couple of checks kind of thing.
Ah, I got you.
So it was like whatever work we were supposed to be doing, plus as another priority was like, this record, priorities.
Yeah.
This record. Make sure you're taking your pictures in the club with the DJ, video, all of that stuff. Do that stuff, but this is another priority. Make sure you email us your Bible.
Interesting.
And when they did that, I was like, nope, I already know what it is.
That was like the ultimate data breach back then before, we had like CRMs and stuff running our systems in the back end. Like that was your client relation manager, the black book, for lack of better words, your Bible. Everyone had different terms for it. But I'm sure you kept your contacts. Because to be fair, I mean, it's dope. And let's go backwards a little bit. How long were you working with Def Jam? Because that was a huge break for you, bro.
Yeah,
like, I met you around the same time that you were just starting with Def Jam.
Yes. So I started as a street team rep.
Yeah.
So I was just on a team. And how record labels work is there are accounts, right?
Yep.
Like just like you would have an account. So there was the Def Jam account, which means there was a person that has the Def Jam Records account for the market.
Yep.
And then there was someone who had the Atlantic Records account. And then there was someone who had the Interscope account. And then there was a Rockefeller, a Diplomat, which Rockefeller and Diplomat was street rap.
Okay.
And then the Interscope Records person was Cholo, R.I.P. And then Def Jam
locally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Def Jam in Atlantic was Gerald Daniels, G as we call him, and then Keith Broham. And then right when I went in the military, it was Trey Styles.
Gotcha.
So when I come back from the military, I was stationed in San Diego. Like I served in the Navy. When I came back, I got on Trey's street team to get my energy up, my awareness. Like people know I was back in the city, but then get back on his team.
Yep.
And then I had already started Dark Knight, so we jumping around a little bit. But then at a certain point, then he got let go, I think, or something like that. And then it was just the opening. And then they called me and was like, "Will you be the new rep?" And I said yes. So I just putting it in context. I was a rep first, as far as a street team intern guy, and then I actually became the Virginia marketing rep, and I did that for maybe like almost 5 years, I think, maybe a little more.
Feels like longer, dog, but
maybe. I mean, but it all blends together. Like it wasn't like I put out a press release. Like I'm actually the account holder now.
Right,
I just kept doing the work, except I was getting a check now, and you didn't see anybody else but my team. So
See, it was one of those things that I have one of my big sayings is get in the room, right?
Yep.
You got into that room, for lack of better words. You're able to be indoctrinated with other people that you know, like, and maybe trust or maybe not, but they and like them because you had the same vision for expanding the brands, being a part of the entertainment industry. And we know this is, a third tier market compared to top 10, top 25. We're top 50.
I still view Virginia as an A market, by the way.
An A market. I mean, I feel it is too, but from on paper.
Yes.
Right?
How it's listed now.
Correct.
At least on the music side, because it may be different in different lanes.
All right. Educate me.
Okay.
Yes.
On these markets.
Yes.
So I kind of understand, right? Los Angeles, New York.
Yep.
A markets.
Yes.
To me, this seems like one of those markets that's up there just because it's so dense. And so many people from outside.
It depends on how the label looks at it. So
correct. Okay.
I would want to hear your...
So from a radio perspective, right? So this
yes.
is where I'm going to come in from that aspect. And this is really more so from the data side, from the selling side, and from the radio side. Because during that time, I love it. You were in California. So he's not from here,
up to
right?
the Baker Boys, Big Boy.
That's right.
He's West Side.
West Side. I grew up to those guys.
But you knew in the 2000, from an outside perspective, you knew who Tim was, Timberland. You knew who Pharrell was. Yeah. You knew who Missy was. You knew who all the big names out here. So like your perspective, you probably thought VA was bigger than it probably was on paper. Hampton Roads consists of anywhere between around 1.4 million people. Let's just say that. That's the 7 cities. That's not Williamsburg, Franklin. That's just the 7 cities. So when I was in radio, we would fluctuate anywhere from market 45 to 48, depending on population. We're really close, right? A top 10 market, LA, New York, Miami. Top 25 market, next second tier. Third tier market is 26 through 50, all right? So that's when you're on different methods of recording from a listenership. 51 and on, you're on the old school diary method.
Yeah.
That's how they're tracking how you're listening, how long are you listening to the station and everything.
Okay.
And when they converted over to that and they're handing out all those little pagers that people would walk around on,
that's right.
You would only do that with the top 50 markets.
You're talking about
right?
Nielsen.
Nielsen, yeah, the Nielsen,
Yep.
exactly. So you're a Nielsen market, you're in the top 50, you're a diary method 51 and on.
Yes.
So we're in the mid to high 40s. Still to this day, strictly based on population. But we're unique unique because Hampton Roads has 7 cities, whereas like we're talking about LA, we're just talking about LA. And it's millions, right? So that's where it was come down. And even back then, I always felt trends, we always got them second or third. Like the trends would start in other markets. I don't care if it's fashion, music, whatever. It would break here last. And if you meet these guys like come from New York, come from LA, like, oh, we listen to that shit for the 6 months or a year. They would always say that. I'm like, we're always getting this late. Even today, even though we have more access, like faster access, I still feel it takes a minute for the trends to hit here.
Well, and before you explain your side, well, it's funny you say that because every time I was in the military, so when I would leave on deployment, my first deployment being 2000 into 2001, and we'd come back, and the first thing we're doing is hitting the record stores. We're trying to catch everything we missed because it wasn't all digital.
That's right.
So we're looking back like, what was that album?
Yeah, what'd you catch? Yeah.
Who dropped an album? And we're looking for those albums. We're going through the CD case. Like, oh, I've never seen this. Was this good?
Case. Right. CD case.
Memories.
You got your CD towers.
What's your definition?
So from the record label perspective, it's a mix of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. So it's definitely radio and ratings, but we look at it as more of a lifestyle thing.
Okay.
So it's radio. It's where can we get or create a fan or a fan base for the artist? Like what are we able to do in the market?
Right.
So radio would be part of it for us, but it's also your demo. So like Virginia used to be an A market because we have all the military bases.
Yep.
It's a tourism hub, Virginia Beach, and then we have a bunch of college campuses, especially between here and Richmond, right? So although they're technically separate markets, Hampton Roads by itself, we have all of the things that you would want to see. Then we had record stores too. We had all the things. So as an artist, you could come here and do a lot.
Yeah.
You could do your show, you could do a radio run, you could do a listening event or a mixer or whatever, and you could float around and go through the malls, and you can do a bunch of stuff here. That's why it was considered like an A market. A market. That plus spins, radio spins, made it like really appealing. And I think just over time, I think they started looking at it more as just the ratings and radio. Right. And I never stopped thinking about all the things someone could do. And so
I look at it more at the density, but what you just explained as far as the lifestyle, just because from the LA standpoint, Mexican artists that are not national, you have your own market.
That's right.
Just like the Texas Cats. Yeah. It's all independent labels.
The Bay,
the regional
the
people.
Houston.
Yeah, they make a living off the
just
area.
That. Yep.
And now that I live here, I could see it. It's like, this is, you could.
By the way, we're primed for that. What you're talking about, the Bay Area stuff, the Texas stuff. We're primed for that kind of a thing where we could have our own ecosystem. And I think that's one of the things I advocate for. I think our area could be where we shouldn't even all the time worry about national. It's important, but I think we have enough independent artists if they build their fan bases and they're loyal
like Nipsey Hussle explained it the best, I think, in one of his interviews where he's like, he created his company kind of like Apple, right? Apple controls everything. Everything's all verticals. Everybody's got to go to his store to go shop for. Well, that was his goal, to shop for his album, for his clothing. Like that's what he was striving for.
Genius. But that can be replicated anywhere, and I think that was the point of what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah, he wanted like a couple stores nationwide.
He was so smart and intentional. I mean, you can't help but be like respect what it was that he did and accomplished, but to a certain extent, also just respect the fact that he shared. Like you can do all of that, and he could have not shared that information with the world.
That's
but
true.
He chose to do it the entire time, and I just respect that so much because I know what it's like to try to articulate that kind of a thought, and all artists are not going to understand what they're seeing him do. But he took the time to talk to camera and break it down in every interview so other artists could try to replicate his blueprint, and I just thought it was dope.
It's just, and then it's ironic because during that time, I was heavy into comedy, like when we were like in the comedy world. That was, and you've now experienced, he came out to the Apollo Night reunion the other night, and he saw like, it was a lot, bro. Like I was in that world, and that was.
I'm really sad that I missed that, but it looked dope.
It was fun. Good. It was good.
It was some good comics.
But it was like it just brought back that era of like, damn, dude, I think I did more than I gave myself credit to just for the culture.
You did a lot out here, bro.
But it was more of the things I enjoyed it, and it went by so fast, dog. Like I did that for so long. I'm like, man, but it was just dope, and then the love and everything in that room. It was good, and it was really good to see the guys that were there, and they're still doing what they enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And they were funny as hell.
And like you said, it went fast. Like my 20s is a blur now.
Right.
So my memory is like horrible, but like now it's to the point to where other people will tell me stuff that we did or accomplished or how I helped them or just little funny stories we got out of state or, in different cities. And I'd be like, we did that? Like,
facts.
Well, all right, cool. If you say so, because I don't remember. But okay, that sounds like it could have happened. Like,
see, but that also goes to say you just never know how much impact you can make on somebody. By just being kind and doing what's right.
That's right.
You just never know.
And I think that's why me and you get along, because our like internal compass or whatever, our morality, our what we stand for, is based on that. Like, we know a lot of famous people, both of us,
correct,
together and in outside of each other, but we've never been on no, I need to stunt, I need to flex. It's about, we know why we're who we are. And we try to intentionally be kind, be respectful, and be about the work. And I think that serves us both in our lane. So
agreed, completely. I mean, but you also have to understand, like, there's the starstruckness happened early in our lives. We would be there where people didn't never experience that. And if somebody's to walk in, like one of the guys that you would love the most that you've never met before, it will happen. You'd say, "No, I'm good." When I'm telling you, when somebody walks in, it's like, because it happened to me. Like in the beginning, it did. I'm like, "Yo, I can't believe it." Now anybody can walk in. I'm like, "What's up, man?"
Listen,
like it's
you got to act like you've been there before,
right?
And a lot of people
hadn't.
So, we start seeing another side of people. And
and then that happened early because two of my uncles were DJs that worked for 92.3.
Okay,
The Beat
in LA
and 106.
Nice,
that's dope.
So they always took me to go back when you're talking about the flyers. Like I'd be in the back of the Astro bands.
I remember
with
that.
cases,
the white vans.
And then I'd be throwing those flyers out at Taco Bell and McDonald's and all that stuff.
We used to do the hop outs.
Yeah, so we do that, and then I would go to the events. Like I got pictures with Common and Ice Cube and all of that. And the first time it's like,
you're like, right.
It's probably better if it happens early.
Damn right it is.
And now, like obviously, I know Pusha T lives out here. Like I've met him twice, just randomly, and it's like, hey man.
Yo,
good to see you. Here's some meals.
It's funny you said that. Randomly one time, I was walking through the Pembroke Mall parking lot.
Yeah.
Just walking. I don't even remember where I was walking. And I walked right past Chad Hugo.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the hell he was walking.
Right.
So I walked past him and I was like, Chad? Like I said it like I knew him, but I was so baffled. I was like, Chad, and he turned around, he said, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then we just kept walking. And I'm like, what the, like.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that guy
Virginia
to like be like, let me get a picture. None of that. It's just like, hey man.
Yeah, I
appreciate all the
this
joy
was
you
like back
me.
in the day before the camera quality would have. So I don't think I would have did it, but it was just cool. It was cool to just have that like little random moment. So
when the digital cameras, my uncles that I was talking about, that DJ Weddle, shout out MC Bad Boy. So they used to laugh at my Uncle Weddle because he still had the Polaroid cameras when the digital cameras were out, and they would laugh when we get in line.
Yeah.
And then we'd take the pictures, and then he'd be there, can you sign it? Can you
That's
autograph
hard.
it?
Smart.
That's
and
hard.
then everybody like, oh,
yep.
You should have kept the Polaroid.
I like it.
And what came back around today now? Kids are using the damn Polaroids. They're expensive,
now it's nostalgia.
You get that autograph right out.
That's hard. I like it.
It's a genius idea.
I frame that and do a thing. Like I like it.
So and the cool thing is like what you're saying is it's in this area now, circling just Hampton Roads in general. A lot of people started here, but everyone really had to leave. If they really wanted to make it, they had to leave, right? You had to go to New York or LA. Like Jay Pharrell, for example, he started here, but he had to go.
He had to go.
And then SNL, he got the break. He was ready. Boom, he had to go to New York. But then now he's going to get more acting gigs, more other things. Where you got to go? You got to go to LA. Like you have to be there because the opportunity. You got to get in the room. And if you don't get in the room, hey, we got a casting call or whatever tomorrow at 8 a.m. I can fly there, but do I really want to do that back and forth? You just got to be present, especially if that's the move that you're trying to get into, right? But what we've noticed is that a lot of these guys end up coming back. Like
it's starting to happen.
It's starting to happen now that we're seeing it. Like people are coming back here. Maybe not a Pharrell or a Tim yet, like to actually live here. I'm referring to, but a lot of the other individuals, they're living here.
They're here.
Like Joe Smith is back here. That's dope. He didn't have to come back. He's the man up in Maryland. Like he's the guy. Like he can't walk around the streets without people knowing exactly who he is. He's the man here.
Yeah.
But he wanted to come back to Hampton Roads.
That's right.
And we had him on the show a few months ago, and when he talked about that, that was really, really dope to know that Vic. He's back
here.
Yep. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of these guys that made it, they come back.
They come back.
Push, he's here.
Push is here.
He's everywhere, but he's here. Malice, they're here. So it's like they know. It's one of the things. They did it. They've made it. They got the bread. They got notoriety. They got the fame. They got what they needed to do. They've checked their boxes. but this is always still home base.
That's right.
You know, and being able to say that this is home base is super dope. Like this has always been home base for you, really since high school and beyond.
Listen.
And then same for me. Like I've thought about leaving. I know you did too.
Listen,
I know you did.
There are people around here who have pulled me to the side and had conversations and been mad at me because they thought I should have left years ago.
You see what I'm saying?
Like one time it was after, because I've won, or my company, right? Respect to everybody who's worked with or for me. One time after we won our 3rd Promoter of the Year award, like a week after that, I saw somebody who I had respect for and respected me. And he was like, "Bet, like, what are you still doing here? You're supposed to be in LA right now. Why are you still here?" And it was just that nagging thing of me and J-Rod and Samantha used to hop in the whip and go to Atlanta for a weekend or a week. So we could build up all of our contacts and all of that. And it was just like, when I talk to my Atlanta homies, when we down there, there's no trace of them feeling like they gonna move, that they need to move. And I'm like, why do we have to move? Like, I want it to be that way here. So then one of the goals changed, which was, let's try to figure out a way to start accelerating people not having to move from here.
Yeah.
So it went from that being one of the goals as to, at some point, I'm going to have to move, to let's start figuring out how we can all just stay.
Right.
And so I know myself, you and others, that's kind of what we on. Let's start building at least what that infrastructure can start to look like, where an artist can develop their talent, their brand, and start, making it. And even if they got to go away for a year or two, make their way back and feel comfortable and start reinvesting into our area. That's what we on. That's why me and my wife vowed that we were not moving from here.
Yeah.
So we got work to do.
Let me ask you a question on like peaks and valleys, because your Peak Life podcast, we had, I'm going to categorize this as a valley, because you might not have taken the opportunity. It might have sounded dope.
Okay.
But we have to consider it a valley because we don't know what would happen, right?
Okay.
And I'll give you an example before you answer.
Sure.
So I can identify 5 like this off the top of my head that were opportunities that I never took, that were involving me leave the market.
Yes.
I'll talk about 2 of them really quick. One of them is when I was in retail in the mall. This is when the malls were the malls, right?
Yes.
This is when every mall out here was open.
Also did retail, by the way, Coliseum Mall. I worked at Legends.
Boom. See? So Legends. Dang, I remember Legends. That was a fire store.
Listen.
So the only OG store out still is DTLR. But they had to leave. They have other places, it's not just local, right? They went to other markets.
Yeah.
So it was I started as sales associate, and I moved up into a few different places, but I ended up working, it was Demo, then it was Jimmy Jazz, and then it was Man Alive.
Jimmy Jazz.
And I worked with all these places before I was 24, but I moved up to store managers and all of them very quickly. So I guess I was just a natural born leader. I didn't know what I had at the time, right? But there was a chance that I was working with the regional manager Emmy and the district manager Jessica. I followed them where they went. They brought me on every time. They're like, "We like you. We know what you're gonna do. We trust
dope.
you." They brought me everywhere they went. I'm like, "Thanks." At this time, I had 2 kids already, right? So Julian and Edgar, I had them 20 and 21, right? So they brought me, slaying it. We're doing great. I'm enjoying myself. I'm leading the squad. I'm a clothes guy anyways. But they had a chance to go to be. Emmy took a position with Jimmy Choo in New York, and Jessica took the same position underneath her as I don't know what the title was, but it was always. They were like the team, man. They just did it together. They never met before until they were working, and they would just work really good together. And they gave me an opportunity. And this is when I was at Man Alive, and I didn't take the opportunity because I felt like I wanted to stay here. I had my kids. I had family here. It could have been a dope opportunity. I loved fashion at the time. I was really in on this, but I stayed here. All right, and I'm happy I did. But that's a valley, right?
I didn't know that, bro.
People don't really know. I don't go back. And then that's when I graduated to go into comedy, in the comedy club. That was my next opportunity. So I bowed out of but then I took the district manager job she left, and I was running the $1 million stores at the time. Selling $1 million store in the mall was a lot, but it was Man Alive was a spinoff of Finish Line, so it was corporate. So I stayed there for a while, and then I just went all in on DJing. And then my next one was when I was working at the station, Intercom, now known as Odyssey. Right behind iHeart as the second biggest reach in the entire country, still to this day. One of their main guys, who is still down there to this day, he came up here. We ran a show. I was running the marketing division. We did a few concerts, and he came. I got to grow and know him a little bit of times. And then I went to Nashville. I got to meet him out there when I went to one of their main events. And then he positioned me with an opportunity to go to Miami. And this was like late 20s, early 30s. And I'm like, this is peak. This is when stuff was already starting to go here, up here. I have now my 3rd kid. Myra and I are now together. I'm like, this is before Mia and Miles, my 2 little ones now. I'm like, yo, I got this opportunity, but it's Miami, right? Top 10 market. Top 10 market.
Definitely a top 10 market.
It was a hybrid position that I had. It was the running the marketing department, but still have an on-air spot, right? But get in the room. That's all I gave you. If I got there, I know I was going to figure it out.
That's right.
And I took a month to think about that. That was one of a really, really hard month, and I decided to say no. And I stayed here. I'm not mad because everything worked out great. But it was one of those things like, damn, what would have happened? I had an opportunity to go to New York in the fashion market and something that I thoroughly, in my early 20s, where I could make as many mistakes as I want to.
Right.
And then I had another one, let's just call it my early 30s, to go to Miami, all on the East Coast, still not too far from home, and hitting two of like my passion points, right? My next one that might happen is going to be in the real estate world. And I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm going to say yes, damn it, all right? When that happens. But I feel that actually that was already one when I came to Iron Valley, to be fair. Because I had an opportunity that I just said yes to.
Yeah.
But it didn't have to uproot me from Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what was one of those that like, yo, if I went back and I said yes, the what if factor?
Yeah, well, I have two as well. One was there was a label in LA, and they wanted me to move to LA, and that was maybe about
How old were you?
about 12 years ago, I think, something like that. Hypothetically, about 12 years ago.
Late 20s then. Gotcha.
Yeah, late 20s. Regular marketing / I think it was like a marketing / A&R position.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, like we want you to do it, and it kind of happened like funnily, that's not a word, but it happened like just in a weird space in the conversation where it was like they were about to offer it to me.
Yeah.
And they were like, because you're out here, right? And I'm like, no, I'm in Virginia. And they were like, oh, okay, like, but you're moving here. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna move there.
That wasn't even part of the offer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think it was just like they were impressed by what I had done here.
Yeah.
So I think they just thought naturally that I would just move there.
Right.
And I'm like, if part of my job would be A&R and I'm clear that I would have to travel, I wouldn't be in LA that much anyway.
Facts.
I'm supposed to be doing my job. So I didn't think there was going to be anything wrong with it. We couldn't make it work. And it was clear that they needed someone to, as much as they wanted somebody to travel, they wanted their home base to be in LA. And I just, at that point, maybe if it would have been 5 years earlier, I would have said yes, maybe.
But you were rocking at that time here.
Yeah. I think I was too deeply entrenched in the let's make this market hot. Yeah. And that might even have been maybe the beginning of it, but I was too gung-ho Virginia at that point that I had said yes. I think about it sometimes what happened if I would have said yes, but it's not something I dwell on because if I would have said yes, I would have met my wife.
That is true.
That's a fact.
Yep.
And that's the best decision I ever made.
Shout out to Marquita, by the way.
Shout out to my beautiful, loving, intelligent, caring wife, Marquita Bianca Brown.
Patient.
Definitely patient. And then Atlanta, independent record label.
Yeah.
I think I actually would have had the opportunity to go back and forth, but I don't think it was enough money for me to feel like to do it. And that one I was closer to saying yes. I felt like I could have took it and made up the difference in money on my own.
Right.
Because they wouldn't have asked me to stop Dark Knight.
Yep.
So I felt like I actually could have did that one, still had Dark Knight, and made enough money on this side to make the whole thing work. But that was the same thing. It was like, I'm very Virginia right now.
Yeah.
And if I go there, I'm going to help make some more Atlanta artists hot.
Yep.
And I really want to continue doing what I'm doing, advocating for artists here. And, you know, I just felt like I've already played my part in some Atlanta artists doing, you know, dope stuff. Shout out to 2 Chainz. Shout out to Travis Porter. There's a bunch of artists down there that I rock with, J Money and some others. But at that point, it was like I'm all in on this Virginia first thing. So, yeah.
What about you, Edgar? Was there one thing that's like, you know, it's not a. Let me be clear on this. It's not a regret, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of like that's the pivotal moment that there's not many times that opportunities present themselves of like a caliber to that level, right? Those don't happen every fucking day. Mm-hmm. So like, if you can narrow it down to one, what about you?
No, so like, well, it's pre-real estate. I mean, I was running.
Not the cartel stuff that you used to do.
Extrusion foreman.
Don't do that.
This was after that.
Yeah. Because that's an easy transition.
Very. So, I mean, I was going to move into the medical field as far as making same cartel stuff, but just in a different field.
Legal
making all
versus
the medicine.
Yeah.
So I was actually qualified for all of that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So I could mix up all the medicine, press it up, everything. Wrap it up, the whole nine.
And now look what pharmaceutical world is.
Yeah. So, and that was kind of like the plan I was heading. But I met my beautiful wife.
See?
Shout out to Cookie.
Respect, sir.
So
women will
I
change your life.
decided to support her career because I knew in the future I had this in mind.
That's right.
And she's supporting me now.
You know, it's dope because like the decision that we make, they're all great ones. To be fair, you made that decision, I made it, but it would have been dope. It would just have been different chapters in our book, right?
That's right.
And I don't regret anything when it comes down to it, and I know you two don't either, right? We don't ever lose, we learn. We all know that, especially the older we get. But there's just dope ass stories. Be like, yo, I actually had that opportunity, but I'm good here because, to be fair, I mean, you and I can say it's 2 up, 2 down. It's VA all day. That's it. But it's more of a, we didn't get complacent by staying in VA. We wanted to continue to grow what we see and what we know is truly here, and we've seen that growth since we've been here. Still got a ways to go, to be fair. But
so you guys created your own verticals within Virginia because everything that's happening here right now, I've already seen it happen in Los Angeles.
That's right.
I've already seen it happen in San Diego. From the real estate market,
I was stationed in San Diego, so San Diego is like the Bay where they had the mixtapes popping. I seen it. I was like, oh, they got the SWAT
I'm originally
meets.
from there.
You from San Diego?
I'm originally from San Diego.
I used to live in what do you call it? Is it Oceanside?
Oceanside.
Chula Vista. I had an apartment in Chula Vista with some friends from the ship. So
I was I lived in Chula Vista, and then but I was born in San Diego. Lived in Chula Vista. Lived in Imperial Beach.
Okay,
that's where I spent most of my time, and then I moved up north.
I have a story, Julian.
Go for it.
That connects to
West Side.
West Side. Love San Diego, by the way.
The best city in California.
I agree. I actually agree. I really like LA, but I do like San Diego better. I
tell people avoid the Bay, avoid LA. Go straight to San Diego.
It's fire. I've been there once.
I spent my 21st birthday in San Diego, but that's not even a story. I'm just throwing that in there. How I knew, one of the moments I knew I got to get back home. Right, I told you I had interned for Def Jam Atlantic.
Yep.
Now, in the order of the story, I interned for Def Jam Atlantic, and I just ran out of time. Meaning, I'm doing all this free work. I'm thinking something's going to come of it.
Yep.
And it just wasn't making sense financially.
Yep.
So then I went to Navy. Go to boot camp. You know, when you're in A school, they give you like the short list, like where the top 3 spots you want to go.
Yep.
I put Norfolk, Virginia first.
Damn.
I put Japan second, I think, and I think I put Cali third. I think I put San Diego third, and they gave me San Diego. I cried in the bathroom. Like when the orders came back and they were handing everybody their stuff.
Man, people were jumping,
killing
each other for San Diego.
I cried. Not boohoo, but it was like definitely like a thug tear or two.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, this is what I thought I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna get back to Virginia and work in the Navy during the daytime and get back to the street promo at night and continue my journey. So I would have had a good check serving my country, and that was the plan. Then they sent me to San Diego. So what I did was, once I touched down, I was on the Ronald Reagan. I quickly bought a car, as we do. Bought a car, had a little Nissan Altima green joint, and then I started living with a friend, Chula Vista.
Yep.
And I started going around and finding all the clubs, like learning the lay of the land. Same thing I did in Virginia.
Did you cross the border though? Because that's very important.
I definitely went to. I went to Tijuana, but I also went to Rosarito too.
Rosarito, that's
further down, but I'm gonna speed. So what happened was I'm talking to all these club owners and I'm telling them, listen, I got a whole street team. If you give me X amount of dollars, and I might have been charging like $500 a month for 5,000 flyers because I was like, I feel like I could get it here. I will have me and my team go out and put out flyers all over San Diego. We'll take pictures, whatever we need to do. And I got like between 5 and 10 clubs to sign up. So then I'm rolling around San Diego with like 5 to 10 boxes of 5,000 flyers. And I'm putting out all the flyers myself. Like, it's not like I was throwing them away. I'm doing the work. I'm just doing it literally by myself.
Yeah.
Damn.
And in my mind, it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't have nothing to do. I'm not from here.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to stay sharp. So if I get the call from somebody, I can hop back into doing music marketing. So I'm learning the lay of the land. I had all this extra money, and I'm good with all these club promoters and stuff. So I ended up getting a call about doing I think it was a Mike Jones and a G Unit show in Rosarito. Mike Jones and
who?
Okay. You got me. So
those are his jokes.
Those are his jokes. It was so.
That's the peak.
Yeah. You got me. So I did that. I did some other stuff, but I was just trying to again keep the tool sharp. So what happened was, okay, I am slowly figuring out like, all right, I need to get ready to start making my departure from the military.
Yep.
So they're transitioning me out. My ship was preparing to go to Japan, I think. This is USS Ronald Reagan. So they're doing, they're doing training they're going back and forth between San Diego and Hawaii.
Okay.
So, like sometimes Friday night, they'll put the boat out in the middle of the water, drop the anchor, and we
Yeah.
run in drills. So you can
He's
we
Navy
can
too.
Huh? That's
He's
right.
Navy.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you can actually see the skyline of San Diego, the park in what's it called? Red District? What is it downtown?
Oh, gas lamp.
Gas lamp. So we can see the skyline, but we just in the middle of the water, just running drills and stuff all weekend. So anyway, all right, cool. So I'm about to transition now. So I'm in that transitionary period. I'm at the base or barracks or whatever, and then I look at the TV, and they had 106 in Park, I think. I saw Don Frequan. What's the record he had with Nas? His single. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking
When
about.
days come and night fall.
Quan from Newport News.
Quan from Newport News. Shout out to Quan. So I see that on 106 in Park, I think. And I think the Clips had a single. I don't even know what the single was, but they were both like on the countdown.
Yeah.
So I seen Quan's joint. I didn't know who he was at all. But then it was like, yeah, he's backed by DJ Elliott. I was like, I think I met Elliott. Like, oh man, that's dope. Like Virginia repping. And then the Clips had a single, and then I saw that video. I'm like, yo, they must be killing stuff back home, and I'm all the way over here. At that moment, I'm like, I gotta get home.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like I did what I needed to do. I made sure all my relationships was good, but I started like, all right, club owner, like I ain't doing it no more, like whatever. I did all my stuff, got my little back pay, and then I packed up my Nissan Altima and I drove across country. My mom was like, yo, that's not safe. You should sell your Altima and you should fly back home. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna drive cross country. Cause then I'm really big on finishing things and starting things, and it just felt like a journey I needed to take.
When's the last time you were going to say you drove across country?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
so that's what I was thinking. I think as a parent, she was like,
And
you're
it's
a young...
literally just Texas that you're driving across.
Basically, that took the longest. I think as a mother, right, she's like, you're a young black man. What are you doing? Because I did have to go through the desert, right? I think I had to go through Arizona and New Mexico and Texas and all that. So I understood what she was saying. But one, I was trying to save money because I had a nice little amount of money, and this is probably the cheapest way to do it, I think. I'm probably wrong about that. But I did want the experience. But I got back to Virginia. It was raining outside. And the beach house still existed. The first beach house.
Original. Okay.
The original beach house. And Jeezy, the Clips' former manager, was still doing where he was bringing artists.
Shout out to Jeezy.
So one of the first things I did is I went to the beach house. Remember his aunt used to be at the door?
I do.
I remember that. It was I think it was raining. It was raining when I got back, but it was raining like this night or whatever. And I went in there, and I think I saw the aunt, and I think the aunt still remembered me. And I got in, and I didn't have no flyers or nothing. I just had that rapport, and I was like, okay, I'm back. Whatever it is, I'm supposed to be back home, and I'm supposed to rebuild this thing.
Yep.
And I went on from there. So, random story, but.
So then you came back, right? And
I
then
came
you're
back.
here. So
And by the way, I had an opportunity to stay in San Diego.
But
So that would be the third thing.
okay.
I got offered a marketing job with a marketing company in San Diego. I think it was like 85, 90,000, and this was like 05.
That's good money.
Good money.
Yeah.
And they had heard about what I was doing, and whatever. And I really had to think about that one, but it just felt like there was so much happening back home. I just wanted to be a part of what was happening, and I made the decision to come back home and figure this out. So.
But it was a good decision. Like you ended up segueing coming back home. Mm-hmm. You picked up where you left off in theory, right?
Yep.
So back then everything's rocking and rolling. Fast forward to today, and you've really cultivated a ton of relationships in that role and outside of that role.
1,000%.
I'm a firm believer that you can marry your past life.
Yes.
You can make it work for whatever you're doing as long as you kept those relationships just okay. You don't have to be great. But you can utilize the relationships. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like me saying, I'm not spinning no more, but I'm 100% real estate.
Yeah.
You would still trust exactly what I'm going to do, and regardless because of the reputation that I've had and the relationship we have. You've transitioned. You're still in music. You still do what you do.
Yep.
But you've actually excelled with that in the role that you're doing from a political stance.
Yeah.
Right? So
and
how have you married both worlds, and what are you currently doing, at least in that world that kind of relates to what you came up doing?
So the inflection point was, we fast forward, I'm back. This is actually, again, fast forwarding back to I get the call. Now I'm the Def Jam rep for Virginia or whatever. I'm putting out 2 Chainz posters.
Yep.
I'm at the Norva. Putting the posters in. Homie is coming to town. Still had my relationship with him. Duffel Bag Boys, they were like on hiatus. So Chainz you going for it.
Yep.
So I knew Chainz was coming. I told him I got y'all. You already know all of that kind of stuff. Putting up posters. And then this guy asked me for my stapler. This is TC from the hip hop.
Stapler?
Stapler.
Okay.
We physical
I thought it was like a term I didn't know or something. All right, you stapler. Got you.
And we put in, so he asked me for my stapler. I'm like, bet. Okay, I had an extra stapler, gave him the stapler. And then he's got the Respect My Vote 2 Chainz posters next to my 2 Chainz Based on a True Story album posters. So then I'm like, well, what is that? I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We start having a conversation. He said, Hip Hop Caucus, nonprofit. You know, we're about empowerment of minority communities, voter registration, the environment, all of these things. And it's like, what do you do? And we talking, and I'm like, oh man, that's interesting. Now, one of the things about me is, at this point, I had been on tours, I had did a bunch of stuff, but I used to feel guilty that I was starting to excel in my career, but I wasn't doing any give back.
Right.
That was an inflection point. I'm like, okay, he talked me into, you should volunteer or you should da-da-da-da. So then they bring me on board to the Hip Hop Caucus, and then I become the Virginia coordinator doing that. Through me getting that role, although it was a non-paying role initially, now I'm in the nonprofit world as well as the music world.
Yep.
So then I started understanding how the nonprofit world works, and I understand that there is a organic intersection between nonprofit stuff like the environment, politics, but arts and music. Arts and music is like the messaging, and sometimes when you're trying to build awareness around or amplify messaging, you need that side. You need the influencers, you need the microphone, all of that. But the messaging actually comes from the nonprofit that you're working with. So if you can figure out a way to marry the two, now you have a really powerful, impactful campaign.
Yep.
And so I was like, yo, like light bulb, like I want to live right there between community, arts, culture, music, and politics. Like, how can I always, moving forward, come up with ideas or campaigns where it's the mixture of all of those things? And that just became my mandate. So from now on, for the rest of my life, that's just everything I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out either how to add the community give back, or the political, or if it's political or nonprofit, how to add the music and the art. Always. So that's where I'm at.
So then now you've developed this, let's just say, unique niche that you, aka Charles, aka Batman, has developed, but you've still cultivated and maintained the previous relationships you have.
1,000%.
I got to give you, I mean, this is just a dope thing to say out loud, but you had Malice officiate your wedding.
1,000%.
You see what I'm saying? Like, but that's strictly based on relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like that, right? You can call him right now if you really wanted to, but that's a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like, regardless what's been done, regardless status, it doesn't matter. That's a friendship. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And it's because you've been able to cultivate that, and that's just one of plenty that I can talk about.
Yeah.
But in a way that you can do that, you've now established yourself as still a force in the area, and we in this scenario, we've actually been offered a dope opportunity that's happening in the next, like, coming up very soon.
Yeah, man, you ready? Because we on the clock, like right now, while we talking.
I mean,
clock
like,
is ticking.
Like literally that.
Literally, what is it today? To 30 days from today.
I mean, depending on when this episode comes out,
when
it's
episode
gonna
comes
be a
out,
little
gotcha.
close,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's gonna be
something
like very soon. So
Yeah.
if you guys don't know, super producer Timberland from the area, he's getting a street named after him, and it's Bridal Creek. The Bridal Creek Way or Bridal Creek Ave, whatever, it's going to be called Timberland Way.
Yep.
And the city of Virginia Beach have now allowed that to happen. That happened a few years ago in Portsmouth as well. I believe it was 22 when Missy Elliott Way got a road named after her in Portsmouth. So now they're doing this in Virginia Beach for Timberland. It's the weekend of October 17th, 18th, and 19th. The good news is that outside of him and I are going to be there, there's a ton of other individuals that are on top of this. Shout out to Michelle, which is Tim's cousin, Tamaya, LaTroy, Nicole,
Trina. Team Lamb's a part of it.
Team Lamb.
G-Man. Shout out to G-Man. Gabe Niles is part of it too. Robbie Wells.
There's so many.
Stephanie Sutton.
Councilman Cash Green.
Green,
there's
yes.
so many people
Yes,
involved
yes.
in this, and I know I'm missing names, so I apologize. But because there has been now something happened already with Missy, now we're just taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's because now we have a squad behind it, and we're able to get it to a place to get this historic moment to happen.
Very much
the
so.
dope part about it is that we have so many of our constituents that are being involved in this from a sponsorship level, and they're going to get to see kind of what a crew like this can put together from a weekend event, right? It's not even just a 1 day, 4 hour event or whatever. It's a weekend event, including concerts, meet and greets, private dinners, and a parade and a celebration. So over the course of a 72-hour run.
Yeah.
That's going to be dope. And I'm really stoked that we can be involved in something like this.
Listen, let me publicly thank you, because the call I got to even be invited to be or participate in this came from you. So I want to thank you for that, because everybody don't know the same people, right?
Right.
And so there also needs to be that thing of Sometimes I need to call to bring you into stuff, or we need to call our friend J-Rod and Kristen to bring them into stuff, and vice versa. I think the good thing about our crew is that's happened at different points of where you brought me into stuff, or I've let you know about something early, or J-Rod and Kristen have been like, yo, let's do this.
Yep.
Remember we did the thing for Jay Pharrell a few years ago, and that was a group effort. Like our team was like, yo, like let's make sure we're supporting bro, and we did a film screening. Yep. And we put it together, and so it's just important that we make sure that we recognize each other in those moments. Like I wasn't initially involved. I got the call from you, and you looped me in, and I appreciate you doing that because these are the moments where everything I've done that we talked about, I want to make sure that I'm one of the go-to guys, not because I need more accolades, but because I think I have the skill set to help. And when it comes to like a Timberland or whoever else, like we got to do this for the city. It's
Facts.
For whoever it is, but we got to make sure we look good to the world at this point.
Yep.
And so, whatever I need to do, whatever you need to do, that's kind of where we at. Like we need to kill this. So,
well, I mean, the world, the Vatican.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was fire.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was. I mean, shout out to Gene and T for the Clips for doing that. Case in point.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Pharrell for getting that call and coordinating everything.
That's right.
Giving the other opportunities to everyone because he could do it all himself, but why? He does, like you said, you don't need all the accolades. You don't need everything.
I didn't know anything about it. I don't know if it was promoted or not. I just saw the highlights. I was like, what?
Exactly. How dope is that? And it was on Disney. Like it was
on Disney.
On there. Yeah, 350,000 people sitting there. It's crazy.
But it's also nice, and I tell people this all the time. People get stuck, and you guys were talking about not moving from this area, whereas, once I had the opportunity to move back, I was like, nah, I'm staying here.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of reasons was, the kids' school, just everything here. I don't feel like I'm behind.
Yeah.
Whereas everything's almost established in Los Angeles or San Diego. A lot of relationships are already there. Here, the city, from the real estate perspective to everything that's getting built up, just feels like I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
It's happening in real time right now.
Facts.
I just feel like I'm a part of it. I was here in 2000. I know what Virginia Beach looked like.
Yep.
To what it is now. It's two different cities to me. But also just being back here, and I got here late 2016 to everything that I've seen from 2016, November 2016 to now, it's been nothing but growth in like big steps.
Yeah.
Big, massive steps.
And a lot of that comes with, the change of guard. It comes with getting individuals in certain positions to do what really the city's been talking about for a minute. I mean, I think the biggest stamp right now is the Atlantic Park that we have in the Dome, and just that area, because all that was parking lots.
It was all
forever.
Parking lots. Yep.
It wasn't
underutilized.
Stackable. It was just there, right? And it took a minute, and it's still not done, right? But it's dope to know that it's going to be there. It had to take a visionary like Pharrell to put his name on it, but it took a lot of other people to get it there.
That's right.
A lot of approvals, a lot of city council people, a lot of the whole 9 yards, comparable to like the Timberland thing for the city of Virginia Beach. Like it takes a lot of red tape to go through to get that, to get it to where it needs to be. But me now being on the back end and seeing this stuff, you now working with that, you understand like, okay, I understand why I can't just make one phone call and this happens. There's approvals, there's zoning, there's a specific individual, there's safety measures, there's a lot of things that have to get in
rightfully
place.
so, right? I think even when you're talking about that, right? Like only because we're behind the scenes and we have certain relationships with certain elected officials do we now understand.
Right.
Sometimes it's them not understanding just in general, but sometimes it's like they also want the stuff to happen, but they have to make sure that they are being good stewards of tax dollars.
Yep.
And making sure that whatever it is going to be safe and enjoyable for the area as well. Yep. So now I have a much better understanding on what each side wants and what each side, what their deliverables will be on the back end.
Yep.
And once we understand that more, it's like, all right, now, and I know how your mind thinks. Like, okay, now we can start hyper focusing on how do we get some of that stuff and that red tape, break through it faster.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? To get more stuff done. So as we go through this process, we're gonna knock this out the park, and I'm sure there'll be other stuff on the other side of this. So
agreed. I mean, even circling to the Timberland event again on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of October of this year.
Good plug.
There is a lot of different activations that are going to go on, not just with Salem High School, where the main event's going to happen, not with just the Norva, where the Timberland and Friends concert's going to happen on October 18th, not where the Mocha on that Friday, that 17th, where the private invite dinner is going to be, not where Poolside Cafe, where the same Friday, where the meet and greet and the producer panel and all that stuff's going to be. There's so many things that you have to go through to get that going.
Yeah.
And getting that done and accomplished in a short period of time, really, it's just salute, right?
Labor of love.
But a lot of that, and correct, and all of this, to be clear, is the labor of love. Your words. It's just volunteering. It's not we're getting bread off this stuff. Dope is Tim, but I also understand Tim and Pharrell were those guys. There still are those guys.
They still are.
But there were those guys in the 2000s that literally there was 2 or 3 of their songs were in the top 10 billboards
at all times
for like a decade in a row. And they came from here. You know, and the fact that P's been coming back, he's something in the water, the park, he loves it. He's he's doing everything, right? Mr. Worldwide, really. He's killing it. Tim's in Miami. You know, we want him to feel welcome coming back home. Yeah. Here. And we want him to understand that there's a lot of love here for that. Just like Missy felt when she came back.
That's right.
Right? And this is going to be a trend that keeps going with everybody else. I already see, in my mind, I see clips something like happening down the road. I see something happen with Jay. Yeah. But this is opening the doors for those other opportunities. And what does that do? Increase more visibility for the area.
That's right.
And what does that help? The economy. That increases people moving to the area. That increases home values. That increases maybe team. That increases wages. That increases a lot of things. You'd be surprised with what visibility can do for a region. Once that visibility continues to grow, especially now that we have these.
That's right.
And it's like, I saw a post the other day. I meant to share it with you. I forgot one of the pages. It was a hip hop page. They shared it. They had like 300,000 likes on the Timberland Way thing already.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, wow.
I meant to share that with you. I got to find that. But I'm like, damn right. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that not only is Timberland getting the key to the city, but 4 of our friends that we know are also getting proclamations from the city of Virginia Beach.
Good call. You're right.
Thank you. Multi-platinum, globally known, recognized producers. Hannon Lane, our buddy, our friend, right? That's our guy. Knots Raw, the legendary. Bink Dog, the legendary. And then Danger. You know what I'm saying? They're all from Virginia. They all got, a whole discography of hits, and they're also going to be recognized. Rightfully so, in that same ceremony where Tim is going to get the key to the city. So it's going to be, to me, part of it is like a homecoming for Tim. Yeah. But I think the other part is a celebration of his legacy and what he's done, but what he's going to do, but also a celebration for these guys who we know, should have been recognized long ago, but they're going to get their due in the right context. And I'm super happy for all of them. And, we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that this goes off the way that it needs to.
So then outside of working with the Tim event, outside of doing, everything, the Hip Hop Caucus, we're heading into an election season. Yes. Right? So what plugs, what information do you have that we know and how anybody that's listening can be a part of that?
Yeah.
I think I heard you talking to somebody to register to vote or something. I don't know.
Yes. I actually was talking to a young lady from my staff. Her name is Kumani. So shout out to Kumani. She's on George Mason University's campus. Okay. So I am the regional organizing director for NextGen America. The college campuses that we oversee or I oversee are Norfolk State, Hampton University, William & Mary, and George Mason University. So we have college students that are act as our staff, right, paid staff, and their job is to go out and to inform and educate students on their eligibility to vote and encourage them to make sure that they're registered to vote and when election day is, so they can be ready, active, and empower their friends to do the same. And so one of the things is there is a new voter registration deadline. It's October the 24th. It used to be like the second week of October, but newly enacted, it's October 24th.
So they pushed it back a little bit.
Yes, I think it's exactly 11 days before Election Day now.
Got you. Okay.
Election Day is November the 4th. So if we do the math, that should be 11 days.
Got you.
There is still early vote, right? And there's still same-day registration. Not opposed to any of that stuff, but, we just believe in just make sure that you register to vote. And even if you've moved and you were registered, that means you need to re-register to make sure everything is current, right? Yep. So you can make sure that your voice is heard. And the biggest thing that we kind of tell people is, even if you decide that you don't want to vote or you don't believe or you don't care or whatever, make sure that you good and you have the choice to opt in or opt out on Election Day, however that goes. But if you don't have your stuff right, then you can't even make a decision. Yeah. So make sure you give yourself that opportunity, that decision, and then do what you feel like you need to do.
Got you. Yep. And where can they find out that information?
So nextgenamerica.org, that is our site. But again, if you have a child or a student that goes on one of those campuses, they can easily, find our staff. Most of the time they will have a NextGen America shirt on. Our colors are purple and white, and they'll be doing events all the way to Election Day.
Nice. And then what about you? How can we find you? How can the audience find where Batman's going to be saving the world with the cloudy days and the bat signal in the sky, riding around the Batmobile, coming from the dark cave to save the light?
I've been running around all day today, so this was an honor and a pleasure. But we have the website, darknightentva.com. That's one. Instagram is darknightent. Facebook. You can either go to Dark Knight ENT on Facebook or my government name, Charles Brown II. And
I'll put that one in.
Listen, and I just started 2 other companies, just so we're clear. I'm building my own ecosystem, right?
Good.
This is why I'm home. One of them is Night Vision Management.
Yep.
So Dark Knight is the music marketing arm. We help clients that way. Night Vision is like we're gonna start managing artists.
Gotcha.
But not managing like babysitting, but managing like let's be partners and figure out how to not only get you gigs, but bring your dreams to reality.
Yep.
Right. I want my clients to not depend on just gigs. Let's create your own event, your own platform, all that kind of stuff, whether it be merch or branded events, so you can start moving and you can take back some of that power.
Gotcha.
And so we got Mike Milborn. We got DJ Illmatic Beats.
Nice.
That's our bro. He's in our circle for sure.
Russ, what up?
Yep. And then we just got Shan, R&B singer. She's dope. She's gonna be out of here. Super smart artist, singer, songwriter. And then we looking at 2 more. I'm comfortable enough to say who we aiming for. Tyler Donovan, that's bro.
Nice.
Y'all already know. Singer, songwriter, producer, rapper, graphic designer. And then Bobby Blaze, dope rapper. You know what I'm saying? He likes the 420. He's 420 friendly, but really smart guy.
Yeah.
Really thoughtful, really caring. Love to give back to the community. So we working with like-minded individuals that have good spirits. That's it. If you don't have a good spirit or good energy around you, like I don't even want your money. Like I don't want to do nothing with you. We trying to we trying to be positive. I'm a married man. Like I'm gonna keep saying that. But I like this space where all of my friends, we're hardworking and we're honest people. And all the artists that I work with, I'm trying to help them get to where they're trying to get out their dreams. And let's just like do this together with positive energy and create, like I said, an ecosystem where we're not really dependent on nobody.
Yeah.
We get it. You know what I'm saying? We give back and then we go home and we live our lives. That's where we at with it.
Easy day.
And then last thing, Recon. Recon is like, think of it like a complex.
Okay.
So like half of it is like a digital platform where we'll be doing stories, covering people around the city in all the lanes, politics, culture, fashion, art, music. But then for about 3 or 4 times a year, we'll also do a print magazine.
Okay.
So we want to do digital, and then we also want to offer that premium of you can be in the print too. So I'm also recreating the Dark Knight Street team to be able to distribute the magazine.
Dope.
So I'm trying to ecosystem, verticals, the whole 9.
And Recon has a website.
Recon has an Instagram. We're going to do the website, but we're actually launching that the same week as the Neon Fest event.
Yep.
So we're using that as the jumping off point. So even the event that we're doing for Neon Fest is entitled Recon Music Lab.
Yep.
And that is a partnership between Dark Knight ENT and our partners Kimeta. And so we're going to have 6 artists. They'll be doing an interview to right to the stage performance. But the whole social media campaign for that is watching an artist's journey from being selected to figuring out the live show, which they'll be doing the rehearsals at Bala Fusion. Eric Camacho will be doing all the video for it. So you'll be seeing them tighten up their live show, their set. They'll be getting some marketing, some media, prepping from me. And then we're partnered with 103 Jam. So each artist is going to not only have their music featured on the Sunday Night Spotlight, but they'll also be able to do an interview. And then that'll be the week before. And then that actual event, hopefully we created enough energy and excitement that even if you were a fan of one artist, you might be a fan of 3 or 4 or all 6 by the time we get to the 17th. So, we're trying to figure it out, man. Trying to be positive and trying to move forward with good energy.
That sounds like you're figuring it out. That's a good thing, not trying. You just keep the momentum going, keep the energy going.
That's right.
Bat, I thank you for being on the show, man. We thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Peak Life Podcast.
That's it, bro.
Listen, Peak Life Podcast. I love it. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate y'all time.
Of course.
Behind the scenes, y'all got to know. I was supposed to be here 2 other times. I dropped the ball. It's not a thing that I normally do. I felt really, really, really bad because I respect people's time, and they were gracious enough to give me a 3rd opportunity to get here. I was here on time. I looked around at the space. Everything is dope that they're doing. So please support the Peak Life Podcast. Support my guys in here. They're doing great work, and I love the format of all of this. So let's do it. Let's do it.
I appreciate you, bro.
VA all day.
Definitely. Edgar, you never plug yourself. What's your IG, bro?
I'm listening.
Oh,
and I'm going to follow you right now.
Here we go.
Come on, man.
Hold on, let me look it up.
They gotta
follow me at Edgar Munoz.
No, you're
on Facebook.
Your Instagram is the VA agent. I know
the
that's
VA agent on Instagram.
Okay, just saying, you never plug yourself. It's just like it's almost like you don't get hair plugs. You don't plug yourself anyway.
No.
So
that's the joke.
We almost got through a whole episode without him.
It's all good.
I'm looking you up right now, Edgar.
Yeah, the VA agent.
I
I laugh. He's a grown ass man, and he's over here telling you, line up my forehead.
Oh boy.
Like,
Wait, what is it on Instagram? We gonna do this together.
The VA bald guy.
No, that's not it. The VA agent. Okay, I'm fine. I'm gonna find it right now.
I'm sorry, audience. I want to apologize ahead of time. We didn't get enough jokes in, so I'm trying to squeeze in some stupid
Yeah,
words.
I see. He canceled on us twice.
Oh,
my bad.
there
Yo,
we
I
go.
thought we was about to team up. You know what? All right, I did just follow you though. So everybody make sure they follow Edgar Munoz.
I'm definitely gonna support everything community right now.
Listen,
that's great.
Listen,
that's great.
I know you're gonna be at the Timberland store, and we got work to do. So after I leave this, I'm sure me and you about to hop right back to it.
Yeah, we will.
Finish line. We got to do this.
Yeah. So energy is contagious. I say that a lot. You know, if the energy isn't fitting the vibe, you know, typically it's either going to go up or down. You don't want to be here, you know, and you don't want to go here.
That's right.
So one of the main things is if you're going to get around and get in a room with somebody, just make sure that they're checking some of the boxes of your core values. Think about back in high school. Why did people join clubs, right? They all like the same thing, right? And then you just end up getting that's your team, that's your crew. You're not going to love everyone in there, but at least you all have the same core values, at least at that point in time. That's just an analogy for you. So people that are growing and watching and listening in the peaks and valleys that you're going to experience, understand that there will be ups and downs, but what goes down must go up. So keep thinking up. DJ Julian Rivera signing out. Your Peak Life Podcast. Subscribe, like, follow, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. See you later. Peace.
Take it easy.